So I am going to answer the questions for what I learned about myself and my character strengths and my engagement strengths. So something that I learned about myself was that I learned that why I take on the role that I do in most social situations, and it's very easy for me to not be a dominant person in a group setting. It's really easy for me to step back and observe, and I think it's because of what really is my strengths, and that is understanding people. And I think in order to truly understand somebody, you need to take a step back and listen and observe what they are giving off, what they're wanting to communicate. So my biggest strengths were communication, connectedness, empathy, individualization, and relator. I'm a relator. So all of those have to do with people. And I'm not really concerned with being that leader, but I'm also not really concerned with being a follower either. And that's kind of why I really liked the other aspects of this was the creativity, the curiosity, the love, the gratitude, and the spirituality. I have a really strong belief, especially in these two, that where they cross, the engagement and the characteristics of creativity and individualization. I think those, out of all of them, are what I really embody right now. Really what I focus on in the way that I do interact with people, because yes, I do want to connect, and I do feel for these people that I connect with, and I do want to communicate and have this dialogue, but what I want to communicate, not what I want to receive, is this creative aspect of who I am, this something that's not like them. I want to find and discuss our differences more than what we're the same on, because to me that creates more dialogue within myself, and I can dive deeper, and I can take what's different about them and think about it. So anyway, an example of the strength in school. So I have a really creative perspective, and I'm actually not afraid to talk in class, even though in a group setting, I don't usually take the leadership role. I think that in school is the only time in a in-person class is when I do take that leadership role, because I love talking and I love exchanging ideas about something that's structured, and we're all focused with the same idea. That there doesn't really need to be a leader, because the teacher is leading the class, and so I can openly and freely discuss my ideas because we're all kind of pointed in the same direction. I most oftentimes will be the first person to raise my hand and just get something going to create that group dialogue, and I think that leads me to be a central person in these discussions, and that's something that I think is really positive and really good. So kudos. How can I use my strengths more often? I can connect people more. I have an anxiety when it comes to actually talking to people, especially when I feel intimidated by them. So I tend to cut myself off from actually connecting with people, even though it's something that I deeply care about. The people that are closest to me is a little bit different. I have my very close people, and I care for them a lot, and I do what it takes to make sure I'm cultivating that relationship. But when it comes to small talk, or just kind of like in passing, I'm a little bit closed off to making new connections. So that is something that I could work on, because it's a strength that I have that I could really develop, and it could help me network. So that leads me on to how would that affect my future. So my future, I know, is with people directly, whether it be I'm creating a business network, or that I am helping facilitate a space for people to heal themselves from past traumas and things like that, which is two of those are my main goal. I know that as I develop the strength of communicating in a really authentic way, just knowing myself and being able to observe others and coming to a commonality very easily, I can do that because I can navigate people. Then I think that will lead me to the success of being able to have a business and making connections with people that are like-minded, and people who even aren't like-minded, because I can connect with those people too because that commonality. My futures with people. Okay, so how will knowing your strengths bring success? I think that I answered that in the last question as well. Is knowing that I have a strength of communication and empathy and creativity and understanding individuals as well as the group, and relating to people and helping people relate to each other, being a mediator, being a neutral space for people to have people feel safe and open, and also knowing that to my core I am grateful for all of it, and it all means something more than just this physical place that we live in. I think that gives me an edge in this world, that a lot of people don't really have that deep connectedness to all things that I really relate to, and I use to guide and lead my life, even though it's not always traditionally successful or logical or any of that. I think that it actually is a strength of mine. So there it is. Answered all the questions. Okay, bye.